All right, look, before the gatekeepers label me one way or another, I want to say that I've been an AEW fan from day one, full 5 years here, and I have been a fallen out WWE fan for more than 5 years now. AEW got me back into wrestling, got me interested in actually seeing a product again and again on a weekly basis, watched all their pay-per-views, yada, 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 yada. I'm not here to talk about or bash WWE. I'm not one of them guys, but I want to state that I'm a fallen out fan, full disclosure here, of WWE. That being said, for those of you that don't know me or stumble across this video, I just wanted to spell things out. That being said, AEW is at a state right now where their future is so secure with this media deal and getting over $100 million per year, and just having more than enough money to keep their talent, sign new talent, build beautiful, elaborate sets that are going to be seen by 1,200 people in the live audience, but we'll get to that in a second. And they're not going away. So those of you wishing AEW is going to, fall off the face of the earth, even if their ratings drop to an average of 500,000 viewers per week for a Dynamite episode, ain't happening. They're going to still stick around. So it's only natural to critique the product or try to want the product to become better, because it's just such an air of transgression in the company right now, where I don't understand why. Because all the people like TK and his ability to book and whatnot, it's not like he's all of a sudden having a new approach. It's still him. It's still the same general group of guys around him, minus Cody Rhodes that went to WWE. But for the most part, it's all the same process and guys. And you just see such a transgression compared to a couple years ago. And it's like, why? What really happened? Were they play in the product to get this big TV rights deal? And I'm like, no, Tony Khan was ridiculously wealthy. It's not like he's a guy that just created this startup company from scratches and took a loan out from a bank and on a whim and a dream, and he turned it into a multi-million-dollar success, because he's already a multi-billion-dollar success with his father in his life. But anyway, I say things, and one of the inspirations that made me want to do this video today is I just watched Dynamite from last night. I usually watch it Thursday mornings, but anyway, the ending of that show and the main event, when you're having so many veterans in that match, like Christian Cage and Jay White, who's a veteran in his own right. He's performed in many big crowds and whatnot. Hangman Adam Page and Kip Sabian, the two guys that did the run, they're a little bit more greener than those two. But the bottom line is we had a point in the match where Kip Sabian was supposed to distract Christian Cage, and then Hangman Adam Page was going to run in and hit Jay White from behind, which we knew was true because we ended up saw it happen later. But there was either like a miscue, the guys were told to come in at the wrong time, and for whatever reason, Kip Sabian just vanishes without any real ultimate distraction, and Hangman Adam Page is standing on the ring, getting ready to do his buckshot lariat, and he's like, oh, no, I gotta lay on the ground. Now, that's all fine and well, miscues happen and everything. But once you realize it's a miscue, how does whoever the director is there, because the audience at home, you really couldn't make out, you really didn't know for sure who was that ran in down the ring entrance ramp and hit the ropes. Like, it was so fast you couldn't really tell what it was. But then the director calls the camera shot to go down on the ground and show Hangman Adam Page laying on the ground. Why the hell would you do that if you knew that was a botched spot that is going to be redone and carried out later in the match? You can at least have an ounce of suspicion in the audience, but it's like, no, now I know Hangman Adam Page is down there and he's going to screw this match for Jay White. And the match went on like another 5 minutes, and all I could vociferate on is the fact that I know Adam Page is down there and he's going to ruin the match. There's no surprise. There's nothing intriguing about it now. And this is the final thing that you take away from the show. It's that last section of the show, that last lasting memory. It's stuff like this where I'm just like, Why haven't they figured this out yet? Why haven't they figured out to get timing cues done? And again, stuff happens even in WWE when they got things as professional can get, and in movies and life, etc. Stuff is mistimed. I get that. Mistakes happen, accidents happen. But it's more that like the follow up to these accidents where it's like again, why would the director then show Hangman Adam Page laying on the ground there? That just looks so stupid. Like the director said, called for okay, I want a ground shot of Hangman Adam Page on the ground there now. Let's fully blow the surprise. It's like, no, don't go to that shot. What are you thinking? It was obviously a miscued spot. How does the director not know that? Okay. Now, again, it's not like these stupid little things like that, like miscues, weren't happening before in AEW when I'm giving them a lot more credit years ago. But I'll even harken back to a few weeks ago. You have, it's moments like this where it's like, AEW was supposed to be the smart man's wrestling company, the smart person, sorry, not to be sexist, smart person's wrestling company. We're going to have a more professional sports like product. We're going to have a ranking and stuff like that. By the way, they brought the ranking back and it failed in like 2 weeks. It was never mentioned again. Stop doing that stupid ranking system. That's so dumb. Anyway, that aside, they're supposed to be the smart man's company and stuff like that. We're not going to insult the fans' intelligence like WWE did and all this, blah, 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 blah. Stop doing things like this. Okay, a few weeks ago, you have Daniel Bryan defending his belt, the heavyweight title, against Okada. And I'm supposed to sit here and believe that Jon Moxley and Daniel Bryan are in this real heated feud, but let's just have a title match with Okada because he'll definitely take the belt of Daniel Bryan right before the pay-per-view match that Jon Moxley just won the right to face by beating Darby Allin and did all this whole huge storyline behind where it's like, oh my God, he's doing all this stuff to get Daniel Bryan in the ring, get the title from him. It's like, no, but you might have to face Okada now because he's in a title match with Daniel Bryan. Shut up. That is so dumb. Why do this stuff? No one going into that match thinks Okada is going to take the belt from Daniel Bryan. Oh, but Okada's never been pinned. Still, no one thinks it. You're insulting your fans. It's stupid. It's dumb shit like that where I'm just like, don't treat your audience like they're idiots. And there's just so many times where they just, and again, I don't want to make this a whole laundry list of bashing AEW for the dumb stuff they've done, specifically over the past about year and a half or so, specifically since CM Punk left or got fired, however you want to look at it. And it's not saying like, oh, he was the glue holding everything together because they were hitting on a lot of cylinders before CM Punk showed up as well. So I can't give all the credit to him for that. Anyway, just so much nonsense. And like even just like the explanation of Adam Cole coming out there saying like, I didn't betray MJF, he betrayed me, he's fake and all this stuff. And I'm like, you screwed him over for the belt and stuff. You formed this group with the Undisputed. By the way, are you still with Undisputed? Did you even mention that in your promo tonight? No? Okay, I guess we'll forget that was ever a thing because we're stupid. It's like Adam Cole went full heel to screw over MJF, and it's like, oh, I'm back, but I'm a good guy now. Why? Why does that make sense? Because MJF is fake? That's your excuse? What? Anyways, it's stuff like this where you're just throwing things out there to throw them out there. Chris Statlander's a face now. She screwed over Will Nightingale, the most lovable, adorable character in the entire company, but she's a face now again. She's not with Stokely Hathaway anymore. Reasons. Anyway. And that's what kills me because there is so much stuff in this company that is just fire. Like that three-way match between Takeshita, Ospreay, and Ricochet was like, oh my God, that was one hell of a match. Like, wow, this company can put on hell of events. But man, is there some dumb shit. They really need to figure it out. They really need to stop insulting their fans' intelligence, because you cannot wonder why anymore, why Dynamite doesn't even sniff a million viewers anymore. But again, do they really care? They got their payday. Their future is set. They can literally just, if someone's willing to come there for money, they can have them. Like, they have that much capital to work with now with this new media rights deal. Like, they are not sweating the paychecks now. Like, I mean, eventually it will hit a ceiling, but you can only sign so many guys and give them so many spots on the television show. But they're making so much money now with this new media rights deal and the streaming on Max and all that stuff. Like, they're set. And that's the one thing too, is how do you expect to lure in a new audience when you have WWE, which is as hot as it's ever been? Whether you agree with that or not, whether you care about that company or not, well, actually, I shouldn't have said that first part, whether you agree or not. No, there is no disagreement in it. They're hotter than arguably they've ever been. Look at their attendance numbers. I don't watch them, but I see the numbers. I see what they're getting in the stands. The ratings might not be lighting up the world, but who cares? They put butts in seats. They get people to buy Peacock. Like, that's all that ultimately matters. They just look like a more professional product. When you're gonna have like just some sort of neutral wrestling fan that's gonna say, am I gonna go with this or gonna go with that? And if they're not filled up but with all the BS behind the scenes, they're not a sycophant online that's on Twitter every day with the complete cesspool of back and forth that's going on with wrestling fans. What do you think they're going to look for? Are they going to look at the product that has, wow, they have really good wrestling matches, but man, they have an arena that's halfway lit, that they never show the camera side because it's always empty. They never show the hard camera side because it's always empty. Or am I going to show the arena that, like, wow, look at that. Every night on Raw and SmackDown, there's not an empty seat. The arena's well lit. They're not afraid to go in the crowd and pan the camera around and see the empty seats on the other side of the arena. You know, they just look more professional. And as well they should. They've been around existence. They've got a lot more experience. They have a lot more props, et cetera, et cetera. And I know there's all these built-in advantages that WWE has. But that's the thing. It's like, how are you going to win over some neutral fan when they see the two products? So I know AEW just seems like, I hear a lot of their fans just be like, oh, who cares if they only get a few thousand fans? They entertain everyone that watches that show. Those people that watch those shows love it. Well, I watch those shows all the time, and I don't love everything. There's so much to be critical of. And honestly, if you're not critical of the flaws of AEW right now, you're a problem. You're the problem. You're one of the problems why they're not getting more butts in seats. You're the reason why they're not bothering to change things, why they're going to do the same things over and over again. Like, throw a guy out there that's healed, that's all of a sudden face, and just not really care to explain why. Because they think you're dumb and you're just, you're not worthy of an explanation. Or if it is, they'll put the explanation on Rampage on Friday night like they did with Chris Statlander, and no one saw it. All right? Like, come on. I want this company to succeed. I don't want them to be a company that puts WWE out of the business. Because again, if you're one of these people that wish for one of these two companies to not exist, you're an idiot. Because one of the best things for both companies right now is that both companies exist. Because please, if one of them didn't exist, whatever company did exist, they would start cutting roster pay. Guys would be earning less. And you got to be kidding me. If any single wrestler would have the opinion that, oh, if they're in WWE, I wish WWE was out of business right now. We don't want competition or anything like that. Like, no, competition makes you better. You got to be kidding me. If you saw, and you're a WWE fan, if you were honestly happy with the product the year or two before AEW's existence into the following year of AEW's existence compared to now, you got to be kidding me. If you were worshiping that product to the same level you are now, you're either a liar or you're just kidding yourself. And AEW is one of the main reasons why WWE pushed itself to be the better product that they are now. Granted, I'm not watching it. I'm just hearing what the fans are saying. I'm seeing the numbers, I'm seeing the butts in seats, and I'm seeing the happy faces that are coming back to watch their show and show up and actually pay money to go see them. I'm not seeing that with AEW to the same level anywhere near as much. The law of diminishing returns in every single city they go back to is so crystal clear. Name one time AEW has gone back to a city within the past 2 years that got a bigger attendance when they went to that same exact venue a year or two before that. I'd love to hear the one time that happened. If it did, it's not many. Anyway, I'm pulling for AEW, but man, when I see dumb shit happen, like I saw in that main event tonight between Christian Cage and Jay White, I'm just like, oh my God, why are they not figuring this out yet? Like, why is stuff happening to such a superfluously stupid level? Anyway, yeah, just chiming in with another little wrestling video for you guys out there. I know there's a lot of people that are in my subscriber fan base here that like when I talk about wrestling, and maybe about 1,000 of you. Anyway, just thought I'd chime in with this, and just, I don't know. I feel like I got to make some sort of content for you guys every now and then, because there's so many of you that have stuck around for now. My God, 18, almost 19 years. Jesus, it's been that long. I don't even care if it's a few hundred of you left out there. I feel like there's some sort of obligation to talk about something at some time. And this ain't exactly taking a big effort out of my day to turn on my phone for 10 to 15 minutes and talk. Anyways, nothing I haven't said before. Take care, everyone. Go AEW. That is all.